First off, Dylan Mitchell was terrific tonight. He was really, really good. And you look down, and he's plus 37. And I'm not a big plus minus guy because that stuff can be misleading, especially in limited data, like a one game situation. But it's not misleading tonight. I thought he was a difference maker on both ends when he was in the game tonight. So I was pleased with that. I thought he looked really good defensively. He was great on the glass with 9 rebounds, and I thought he's been showing us flashes of some things that he can do offensively, and I thought he was able to apply that to the game tonight, and I was excited about that. Obviously, anytime you win a Division I game, they're hard to win, so you feel good about that. But there's a lot of, and then I like that we didn't turn the ball over. So I'm trying to start with the positive stuff, guys. I'm not pleased with our rebounding. That's something we got to hang our hat on. So I'm not pleased with that at all. To not have one offensive rebound after like 32 minutes of play. You guys know me well enough now. That frustrates me. And Dan's not playing. I'm sure you guys will ask about that next. But he's a terrific offensive rebounder, but one guy shouldn't affect our ability to get to the board. So all in all, there was some really good stuff out there. I don't want to be the negative Nancy just to be the negative Nancy, but I didn't think that we rebounded to our standard tonight, and I didn't like some of our defensive possessions tonight. But then, again, there was some good stuff too. I give Morehead credit. I thought they did a good job of trying to hold the ball a little bit and go deep down into the clock, and then they made some tough shots over the top of us late in the clock a couple times. But at the same time, there was some things that weren't up to par there, and it'll be good to learn from on the film.
Dan didn't play, so I'll go ahead and ask about that here. Any update?
Yeah, I know it's coming. Yeah, I don't have an update yet. Hopefully next week. Something happened in the game Tuesday night against Pine Bluff, and was it Monday night? Monday night against Pine Bluff, and he came in Tuesday for film, and he did, after the game he was fine, but his knee swelled up a little bit, so we're trying to kind of figure that out. But we don't have a big update at this time. He's walking around. You guys probably saw him on the bench. But when we know something, we'll let you guys know. Certainly, we're not the same team without him and Day-Day, and it'll be great to get those guys back. And that's the plan right now.
Anything on Day-Day?
Day-Day's been progressing. Like if you asked Day-Day was working out after shoot around today, and he's telling me he's been a full sweat, going full speed, telling me he can play tonight. And I said, great. I want you to be able to play, but I ain't playing you tonight. And we just want to make sure that we don't have setbacks. So we've been taking it way more cautiously than we probably need to, but I think that's the right thing to do. I think Bob Mangine thinks that's the right thing to do, and my guess is that Day-Day will be participating in a different way in our practices next week, and if that keeps progressing, it wouldn't surprise me if he's playing in our next game.
So minus those guys, Dylan doesn't miss a shot. Seamus didn't miss till about 4 minutes to go. He had about 4 guys that had no missed shots for a bulk of the game. Is that what you see every day in practice?
Yeah, and I should have said that to start too. I thought Seamus did some nice things, some really nice things. I thought Jizzle made a couple really nice plays with the ball. I know he missed a couple early that he'd like to get back, but you look down, he's 6 for 10, and there's some good stuff. Aziz has a good line. I'm on his butt because I think he can get 20 rebounds in that game, that type of thing. But there was guys. There was some good stuff. I want us to dominate the boards against everybody we play, and I certainly want to dominate the boards in that game.
The overall 30-30 tied rebounding, was it would you think it was just a lack of effort? Did you think it was a lack of just positioning on the floor defensively? Could you gauge that in the game?
Well, I thought there are 11 offensive rebounds. Some of them are long rebounds, long shots, long rebounds, and some breakdown in technique or you're leaking out. Then there's a couple that are right there at the front of the rim where they kind of shoot it and get their own rebound back, or you come over to block it. Yeah, we'll look at the film, but I didn't think it was just like one issue. Like our kids play hard, so I don't think I'd ever. It's not fair for me to sit up here and say our kids didn't play hard enough, but there's a standard that I want, and I certainly wanted to see it to a higher standard tonight.
Are you seeing just a little different form of his ease, just being early season? Doesn't have to do with everything that he did last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think this time last year he wasn't playing, so I can't compare this to anything because he wasn't allowed to get in the games. But I think it's helping. I'm trying to play him longer stretches and more minutes, but we got to get him in better shape, because his ability to run is as good as anybody in the country. His ability to rebound on the offensive board is as good as anybody at his position in the country. I mean, I think he's terrific, but we got to get where he can play 7-8 straight minutes or big minutes in a game, and he can do it every possession. We just got to get him in better condition.
Another slow start for Jizzle, but then you blink in the second half and he has 14 points and he's double figures. It kind of like the first game. He started slow, he distributed, and then nearly had a triple-double. I mean, is that you obviously don't worry too much about him, or maybe you do. I don't know.
I don't have a lot of worries about Jizzle James. No, he's pretty dang good, guys. I mean, he's been shooting the ball such a high clip all summer, all fall, all preseason practice. He's missing a couple back rim early in the game, last two games. I don't even blink. And then you look down, he's 6 for 10, 2 for 3, 14 points. He only has 2 assists, but he probably started like the hockey assist, or we call him the domino. He probably started the domino on offense 10 times tonight. I mean, he's been pretty dang good.
Coach, nearly 50 points in the paint there. Was this an emphasis heading into tonight to get the ball inside and really get those numbers going for the big guys?
I just think it's been an emphasis for us to be more aggressive all off season and all preseason, to try to put pressure on the rim, whether it's with the drive, with the roll and the pick and roll, with the post opportunities. And obviously you're seeing post opportunities in different ways, not just from Aziz and AP. You're seeing them from our big wings, whether it's off of a drive and they kind of flip their hips, or we're shuffling them or screening them in there. So yeah, we've tried to figure out ways all off season to put more pressure on the basket and get to the foul line more, and I think we saw some of that tonight.
The offensive execution through 2 games, do you feel like the actions you guys have been installing for the last few months are going according to plan, or would you like to see it at an even higher level despite the point totals?
I mean, I always, you always want more, better, more. That's never going to change. I mean, we could score on every single possession in a game, and I'd probably, find things that I think we could do better. That's my job, right? And that's why I have a job. So it's kind of difficult to answer the question. I mean, there's been some good things and some carryover, and I love the way we're sharing the basketball. I love the action that we're creating without me calling a play. And then there's some things that we can do better. But I thought some of our offensive execution in the first half was really good. Like, some of our sets were really good in the first half.
13 points for Arrington Page tonight off the bench, 17 minutes. Talk about his impact tonight.
Yeah, he had some really good possessions. He had one possession. He just ran the rim and sealed and held his position, and they finally get a foul. I love that he converted on the free throw line. I mean, he's 7 for 8 from the free throw line. He put pressure on the other team. He got fouled, and he got to the free throw line and converted. I thought that was good, but you guys can see it. He's such a terrific young player, and he's just scratching the surface, and he seems to get better every week. So I'm having a blast coaching him.
2 more questions.
CJ and Connor didn't offensively kind of fill the stat sheet like you would hope that they normally do, especially with Dan out. Is it imperative that you get the 2 of them kind of on the right track?
I mean, I thought Connor's doing a nice job of playing 2 positions right now with Day out. So, we're asking a lot of them. We're asking him to play with Dan and Day out. We're asking him to play a lot of minutes at the 2, but we're also asking him to back up Jizzle at the 1. and I think he's doing a damn good job. And he's asked him to learn a new defensive system, and he's playing hard. He's playing competitive. Like, I'm pretty pleased with him. When he honestly goes 1 for 5 and 0 for 3 and 0 for 1 from the foul line, I think it's more he just needs a break. He just needs some rest. He's been probably going a little too hard. So we're going to give them tomorrow off because, guys like him and Jizzle, they need a day off. I mean, they really do. They need to rest their bodies. And they're doing a lot for us right now on both ends of the floor. And I don't worry about C.J. Frederick at all. He's the more he plays, the more in rhythm he is, the more the ball starts popping around. He's going to have big offensive nights. He's a really good offensive player. Everybody here knows that.
It looks like Tyler Betsy is pretty comfortable. Is that kind of what you've seen throughout the first 2 games? And if so, is it surprising to see a true freshman come in and be able to contribute like that?
Well, I've said it about Tyler a number of times now. I think there's very few freshmen. In the 1 year that I've coached in the Big 12, there were very few freshmen that impacted this league. Very, very few. I've thought since I recruited Tyler Betsy, he was good enough to impact this league as a freshman. That's how good I think he is. I think there's some things that he's doing that don't surprise me because I've thought that for a long dang time. And then I think like these minutes in these games are really valuable because it's something he can learn from, right? Like I think, there's a play where he overhelps early in the first half and gives up a 3, and you get out there and make those errors. Now, in this Morehead State game, you have a nice margin and you get a win, but you can make an error that you can really learn from, and he's the type of kid that'll learn from it. Like, he's smart, he's analytical, so I think he's going to be able to do more good things, and I think he's going to be more impactful with the more experience he gets. So I look down and he gets 18 minutes tonight, and I like that because I think he's a guy that's going to have a good year for us.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Dylan feel a little better second time out, maybe knock the nerves off and get out there and play one more free?
Yeah. I mean, it was second game. It's fun playing in front of the fans. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I think that's what's the most fun is just playing in front of these fans, showing out. It's the reason why we go hard for the name in front of our chest, like I said before. So, yeah, I mean, I usually don't get nervous before games, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
A bunch of you guys didn't miss a shot. You didn't miss any. I think he missed 1. But, I mean, pretty good shooting night overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just us taking the right shots, taking shots that we work on, moving the ball together to get A shots is what we call it, getting A shots. So I think a lot of us work on, some of these shots, and we just make sure we get to our spots and shoot what we work on.
Aziz, you talked about before the season just how much more comfortable you felt not having to deal with all the waiver stuff. When you've been through 2 games, 3 with Ohio State, just how much more comfortable overall are you, and are you starting to actually see that?
I think it's more easier to get guys doing what they best at. We all know we sharing the ball, play with our strength, so it's just more easier.
Was there something that they were able to kind of key in on more offensively in the second half? You guys allowed 19 in the first and 37 in the last 20.
I think it was just our effort, making sure we're staying in the details. I think that's something that we got to make sure we can't run away from. All the details that we work on in practices before the game, it's certain things that we work on for teams. If it's ball pressure, if it's ball screen defense, which is something I think we got to get better at. So whatever it is, we just got to make sure we stay focused for the whole 40 minutes, not just have one good half and then have a bad second half, but we got to be good for the whole 40 minutes. So I think it's just really making sure we tone in on the details and everything.
Aziz, are guys a little more comfortable with the lob this year? They know where you're going to be, when you're going to be there a little bit better?
Yeah. And as soon as they stop me, we got Dylan on the side. He gonna they know he gonna attack them every time. So we just feel more comfortable with each other, and we got some shooter too. Yeah. And we play our strength as well. Yeah.
How fluid do you guys feel like your actions are right now? You could see some really good open shots getting created, especially in that first half.
Yeah, I think that's just us playing together, knowing each other, practicing it. Obviously, it's still early in the season, and we still got a lot more to work on, and to even get better playing with each other and knowing what each other's strengths are. But I think as long as we play the right way, we move the ball. We got a great group of guys that I love to be around with. So, and that translates on the court, just the way we share the ball to get each other good shots. I mean, we know what are good shots for each other, so we try to put each other in position to get those type of shots.
Dylan, Coach Wes said after the Pine Bluff game that he's confident in your three-point shot.
Yeah.
You've only taken 10 in your entire
Yeah.
career. What's it kind of like to see that confidence, and was that kind of discussed in your recruitment that he wanted to try to develop that part of your game?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I think it's just about expanding my game, and it's something I work on. So just getting the confidence to put them up, no matter make or miss, but to have that confidence to get it up. It's something I work on every day. So yeah, I'm expanding my game, and Coach West is giving me the freedom to do that.
Is there a lob that you cannot get?
I mean, they've been doing a great pass so far. I feel like, yeah.
No, I'll answer that for him. No, there's no lob he can't get. No.
As the veterans there in the front court, talk about the development of Arrington Page. Big night, 13 points, 3-4 shooting. Just talk about what you guys have seen from him thus far.
I think we need everybody to respond, and like he been doing a great job. I did play his role. He got a big role on the team, and that's what he do tonight.
Yeah. AP works hard. He works hard. He practices hard. So I think it just translates on the court. That's the type of player AP is. He's someone we can depend on, count on as always. He's a big presence for us. So, yeah, I mean, AP works hard every day in the gym, practice, workouts, whatever it is. So, we all got that confidence in him, and he comes out and he helps us a lot coming off the bench.
What do you guys feel like is the biggest thing you maybe have to key in on between now and a rare week off this season between games?
I'd say just the defensive part. I mean, making sure we're on our stuff on defense, all the little details, ball screen defense, communication, something that Coach West has been preaching lately, and I think that's what's gonna help us win games. We want to make it to the tournament. We want to have a deep run in the tournament. It starts now, and it starts on the defensive end. We got guys to shoot. We got guys to make plays offensively, but I mean, the defense is where we gotta really set our mind on and just be able to execute on defense, talk to each other, communicate. So that's the biggest part. That's a game changer right there.
Dan's such a big part of this team. Without him tonight, were you maybe searching for energy a little bit because he feels like, a guy like an energy giver for this team?
Yeah. I mean, that's something that we're all here for Dan. We're supporting him and hope he has a speedy recovery and everything. But yeah, I mean, it's next guy up, and it's we all got to play together, play for one another. We go to war for each other, so it's not about one guy's down. Everything isn't scrambles. It's just about, playing together. I think that's the biggest thing, sticking together. Everybody needs to get there. We're down Dan, and we were down Dede. Coach called them 2 killers. We were down. So we got to be a team full of killers, and that's the mindset we had coming out.
Anything else?
Aziz, we heard following the game Monday night that you were translating through French to Halvin through practice. Could you just walk us through that conversation a little bit, and how important is that for you as a exchange player there to kind of walk Calvin through this process?
Yeah, so every time I'm just trying to help him out because I know how he felt to speak another language and come from different countries. So every time I'm trying to be there for him, trying to make sure he understand. So if I'm sometimes we can be played, and we need him as well to be effective, and he worked really hard. So it's me, I'm just grateful, you just help him, through his journey.
Even on the glass, 30-30, that's expected to be a strength of you guys. Mm-hmm. Are you expecting to hear from Coach on that probably a little bit?
On rebounding?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I don't think we got enough offensive rebounds. I mean, that's something Coach was preaching the whole game. So I think we got to be better on the glass. And they got a whole bunch of offensive rebounds. So, yeah, we just got to be better. We'll get back to it, working on it, making sure we prioritize that part. Because, I mean, that's you don't want teams to have second shots, especially later on in this year. I mean, that's something that we could lose games by stuff like that, little details like that. So it's something we'll work on. It's something we'll get back to it.
Is that maybe the biggest impact of not having Dan? Is how much he can impact the glass?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Dan does a lot of things to help us impact win, and that's just a category that's something he does help us win at. He's very athletic, and he's all over the court. I mean, so he could, even if he doesn't get a rebound, he can disrupt the ball, and one of us can get it or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's one part that Dan definitely helps us with.
We good?
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.